Is there a more overrated coach than Sean
Oh
McVay? Not that
my
he hasn't done a
God.
lot of great things, but he is overrated.
Why? Why?
Well, I think he's done a really nice job with a lot of really talented players. Probably got the most he could out of Jared Goff. But I come back to that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and he was just out coached the entire game. Supposed to be an offensive genius, and they couldn't do anything in the worst Super Bowl I have ever watched from an entertainment standpoint in my lifetime. And, you mentioned before that I'm a big Philadelphia fan.
Here, I
Every
knew
time
this
they
is coming.
played,
I knew
every
this is
time they
coming.
played the Eagles,
Here we
all
go.
you heard about was Sean McVay, whiz kid, and Doug Peterson undressed him every time.
So that's it. So if you have Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, if you're not hanging, what do they hang? 40 points on the Patriots, that Super Bowl victory, you stink. You suck. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that in particular, but I just think that they've underachieved in a few big spots for Mr. Boy Genius. Not that he's not a really, really good coach, but I think he's a bit overrated. And maybe he's come back down to planet Earth. But for a few years there, you're listing the best coaches in the NFL, and it would be Belichick, Reed, Peyton, Tomlin, McVay. It's like McVay, yeah, he's good. They're a good regular season team, but for a while there too, and San Francisco was down, and obviously they're better and down, and now hopefully better again. Although when we get to the next pick, that we may disagree on that one. Arizona was down before they got Kyler Murray. They're kind of in flux there while they couldn't find a quarterback to throw to the great skill position players they had. Seattle was good in that division, but they played in a lousy division too. So I think that helps when you're playing in a lousy division. It might make you look a little bit better than you actually are. There's not a lot of defense being played.
Wow. Okay. Sean McVay overrated. Now, you're not the first person, the only person to say that. I do think I think this is the year, though, for Matthew Stafford. This is the quarterback that kind of reminds everyone so far that, you know what, maybe it was Jared Goff. Not maybe, it was Jared Goff. That was more the issue of just not getting the most out of the offense, not Sean McVay getting figured out. Now, I wouldn't say 2 games I feel, let's say 100% about it, because there's been some points in both the Bears and the Colts games where the offense has gotten bogged down. There wasn't that much creativity, and then they kind of slowed down. But 2-0, and you are taking the Buccaneers. I'm going to stick with the Rams here.
Wow.
I am. I do think that this is a game where, you know what, if both offenses, I don't say they're even, because right now I think the Buccaneers have the advantage. They've just been, flying on all cylinders. But to be fair, they played the Cowboys defense, which has been leaky, although they kind of shored up a little bit last week against the Chargers. And a Falcons defense that, my goodness, Trip. I mean, me and you might be able to start in that Falcons defense. They are just horrendous. So now you go. I mean, I don't know what your 40 time is, but
geez. It's either them or Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, oh God. Yeah, you know what?
The
You might be
Texans
right.
have been surprising. We'll see how they do with Mills at quarterback this week. But the Texans actually aren't the worst team. I thought they would be coming into the season.
I'm 100% with you. I thought that was going to be by far the least competitive team. I mean, if you had to put a number on it, I probably would have guessed 0-17 more than anything else for them, just because it's so depleted. And they had been right. Crazy say at 1-1, one of the surprise teams, and they're not going to exactly do anything. Maybe get 4 wins, but they have been playing hard for David Culley. It's good to see. So to your point, that opens the door for a team like the Falcons that have just been getting their doors blown off on defense so far. But I will say, you're going against Aaron Donald. You're going against Jalen Ramsey. This is the biggest test defensively Tom Brady is going to have to go against, where he maybe doesn't have Antonio Brown, one less weapon to worry about if he can't come off the COVID list. I think this kind of just lines up where the Rams at home, underdog, I'll take LA, Sean McVay, and Matthew Stafford kind of remind everyone this is going to be a 1-2 punch to fear the rest of the season. So
I'm a little worried about their running back situation, though. Henderson,
yes.
I think, didn't practice this morning or yesterday. He was on the did not practice list, and you already are without Cam Akers. They need a good running game to support that offense throughout the course of the season, especially going against a good defense like Tampa. You don't want to become one-dimensional.
I totally agree. Now, I will say, running back, I think you'd agree, the one position where it is easiest to kind of plug and play if you have injuries. And so, look, the Colts defense isn't exactly world beaters. Sony Michel, when Henderson did go out, had some nice runs. Did kind of set them up in field goal range to eventually kick the game-winning field goal. I think if he has to have the majority of the carries, 20, 25 carries, I think they'll be fine in terms of trying to establish some semblance of a run game to keep the Buccaneers defense off balance.